Thank you, John. Ah, so fun. I really want to stay on that picture, but I have to move ahead. Yesterday, I was in my backyard, and in the yard itself, as I was just sitting there and meditating, listening to music, watching my dog, all of that wonderful stuff, just communing with nature, there was one dandelion in the middle of the yard. Just one. And I just looked at it and thought, how funny. Yeah, it's not my dog. I'm hearing dogs go by. And I love, anyway, it's not mine. Anyway, so this one dandelion, and I just sat there and I just watched this one dandelion. And then later in the day, and I grew up loving dandelions. Did any of you?
Yeah.
It made me so sad when we had to mow the yard, because in my youth, they were everywhere. Our yard would just be full of them. So let me see. So I was communing with the dandelion, and then later in the day I found this. The dandelion is the only flower that represents the three celestial bodies, the sun, the moon, and the stars. The yellow flower resembles the sun. The puffball resembles the moon, and the dispersing seeds resemble the stars. Isn't that interesting? Did you ever think about that? I hadn't. They open to greet the morning and close in the evening to go to sleep. Nature is so cool. There is so much that is going on in our universe to show the connection of who we are and all that is, all the time. To take the time to just observe, rather than just keep going through life. Busy, busy, busy all the time. Earth Day. Earth Day is an annual event. It's always on April 22nd, and it was created in 1970. April 22nd, 1970 was the first Earth Day. And it was created to demonstrate the support for environmental protection. And it is celebrated globally. And there's an earthday.org that you can go to. And they say that it encapsulates 1 billion people in 193 countries. That on that day, if nothing else, if no other time, on that day there is that much focused energy on planet Earth, which is just a beautiful thing. And one of the things that I found as I was looking at things was NASA. NASA started taking, NASA was the first one, obviously, to take a picture of planet Earth as a planet, where we have all of those wonderful pictures. And they had I think I've got it on here, but I don't see it on here. I didn't put it on the screen. But it's hashtag global selfie. And so they were inviting people. Do you know of this, Terry? Have you seen this? To go outside in nature and take a picture, do a selfie, and then send it to hashtag global selfie and join, who knows, I'm going to go check out the site later, or tomorrow, I guess, how many people have noticed that and just sent pictures of themselves out in nature, just being in that beauty and that oneness and that love. according to an old native legend. One day there was a big fire in the forest. All the animals fled in terror in all directions because it was a very violent fire. Suddenly the jaguar saw a hummingbird pass over his head, but in the opposite direction. The hummingbird flew towards the fire. Whatever happened, he wouldn't stop. Moments later, the jaguar saw him pass again, this time in the same direction as the jaguar was walking. He could observe this coming and going until he decided to ask the bird about it because it was very bizarre behavior. "What are you doing, hummingbird?" he asked. "I'm going to the lake," he answered. "I drink water with my beak and throw it on the fire to extinguish it." The jaguar laughed. "Are you crazy? Do you really think you can put out that big fire on your own with your very small beak?" "No," said the hummingbird, "I know I can't. But the forest is my home. It feeds me, it shelters me and my family, and I am very grateful for that. And I help the forest grow by pollinating its flowers. I am part of her, and the forest is part of me. I know I can't put out the fire, but I must do my part." At that moment, the forest spirits who listened to the hummingbird were moved by the bird and its devotion to the forest. And miraculously, they sent a torrential downpour which put an end to the fire. The Native American grandmothers would occasionally tell this story to their grandchildren and then conclude with, "Do you want to attract miracles into your life? Do your part." And then the story goes on to say, "You have no responsibility to save the world or find the solutions for all of its problems, but to attend to your personal corner of the universe." We cannot fix everything. The hummingbird on its own could not put out the fire, but its intentions were pure. From John Francis: "We are the environment, and how we treat each other is really how we treat the environment." We are the environment. I have to admit that I had never put that in context before. But if I keep telling myself that I am one with all that is and that I'm one with the universe, then we are one with all that is and we are one with the universe. And we are an environmental body. Not only do we enjoy all of the beauty that is around us and care for all that we see that goes on with our planet, it truly is us. It is truly us. And we can either ignore that or participate in it. And I guess by ignoring it, we're also participating in it, but maybe not in a helpful way. And from Matthew Edward Hall, "Earth breathes in us." Earth breathes in us. And that is so much the main part of what I wanted to share on this Sunday in preparation for, in conjunction with, and recognition of Earth Day. I know that everyone in this room are wonderful stewards of the planet. I know who you are. I know your hearts. But for us to take a step forward and going deeper into that realization. There was a quote that I was going to use a bit before from a woman by the name of Adrienne Mary Brown. "Things are not getting worse, they are getting uncovered." Things are not getting worse, they are getting uncovered. Oh my goodness, some days doesn't it look like things are getting worse? And yet, as students of spirituality, of unity metaphysics, we know how things work. That whenever we move forward, the ego comes up and says, I don't think so. I've been really comfortable here in this XYZ behavior that we've been playing in, of just feeling comfy with my judgments, with my lethargy, with my whatever. Name your vice that you have gotten content with. Maybe not content, but comfortable with. And whenever we take that move into a higher level, into one of the upper rooms, you might even say, of awakening, of coming into a greater realization, of remembering that we truly are one with everything. We have that feeling of beauty and love and grace, and then boom, we might get slapped with a cold. Or, something else might go wrong. Things might start breaking around us. What am I talking about? Am I crazy? Have you guys not experienced this? In the book, Lessons in Truth, I just want to say, here, I've got a clock right here, because the light is shining on the clock in the back. I can't see what time it is. But fortunately, I have my iPad, so we'll be okay. If you guys get up and start walking out, then I know it's time. Emily Cady in Lessons in Truth, she taught this, she spoke about this, that as we come into a higher state of awareness, then things start happening. And she primarily related it to getting sick, to getting a cold, to getting the flu. Because it is the body's way of resisting. She called it chemicalization. Chemicalization. And what do we do with that? We just recognize it. Say, thank you for showing up, but I'm not going back. Once we know an intellectual truth, once we know a spiritual truth, we can't unknow it. We might pretend that we don't know it. We might choose to go back to sleep, so to speak, but that truth is still in us. And it is that resistance to the truth that can cause us to then go into struggle and go into worry and fret and fear, whatever it may be. So our opportunity is to just pay attention to that. Things are not getting worse, they are getting uncovered. We're just in a state, I think, as a planetary body, of a great growth, of a great awakening. And I know I'm not the only one that says this, and perhaps you yourself are experiencing that. At one moment it's like, oh my gosh, how beautiful, how amazing. And you're in that moment of bliss and grace. And then in the next moment, you listen to a bit of news. Or you talk to somebody who has just listened to a bit of news. And then it's like Chicken Little and the sky is falling all over again. But the truth is, it is not getting worse, it is getting better. And there are thousands upon thousands, and according to the Earth Day website, at least 1 billion people who are going to the lake and filling their beaks with water and running back into the flame. We get to choose how we want to participate. And then I also want to throw in here quickly, it is not just about the outer environment. What about your inner environment? How are you taking care and being a good steward of your own personal well-being? With the words that you speak, with the feelings that you feel and hold on to, with the food that you eat, with the activity that you either do or don't do. We are an environment. So we also get to pay attention to that and not be crazy about it and get upset with ourselves, but just pay attention and make another choice. Just simply be gentle and make another choice. Earth breathes in us. I love this image, and those of you that looked at the e-blast probably saw this. I love this image so much. And there is a Rumi quote. As you walk, the path reveals itself. As you walk, the path reveals itself. One way or the other, the path is revealing itself with whatever choices you are making in caring for the planet, in caring for yourself, or perhaps some days choosing not to be quite so great at it. But we are creating a path. The rabbit asked, "How do you find the right path?" And the boy replied, "Maybe there's no set path. We create it as we go." We create it as we go, either by action or inaction. We create it as we go. So I invite you to just pay a little bit more attention today, tomorrow, and every day. Again, I always feel like I'm talking to the choir because each of you are so awesome, I know, at who you are and what you do and how you care. But let us just open our eyes a little wider, open our hearts a little bit more, and be a little kinder and a little more mindful. And I love this pledge. If you feel like you align with this, affirm it with me. We the peaceful. I pledge allegiance to the earth and to all of her creatures, for here they dwell, one planet, united in harmony with universal love and compassion for all. And so it is. And as John prepares